fellas, this is groundbreaking. We have this from Fox News. Why don't we play this real quickly so we can see what Fox News has to say about this?
CIA Station Chief Dan Hoffman. So, Dan, for all the talk of all the technology in Iran that they beat their chest on, it took them this long to locate the helicopter?
Yeah, I mean, first, just the fact that the helicopter went down, and then secondly, you're absolutely right, locating it, reportedly with the assistance of Turkey.
Yeah.
And so, yes, that does reflect a bit of challenge that Iran has had with their military. And, you know, I think you all have made some really important points this morning about how, you know, I think we're going to see the continuation of the general contours of Iranian foreign policy, meaning domestic repression, carrying on support to Hamas and their so-called axis of resistance against Israel and the United States, and then fortifying their relationship, their alliance with this new axis of tyranny, Russia, China, and North Korea.
So, you know, Russia,
Wow.
quickly,
All right,
if you
can
want
we
to know
pause
about the
that for a
relations with
second?
Iran, they sent
So, fellas, I just want to ask you guys, what do you think about the story overall? What are the implications for the region, the West in general? What is happening there?
Thank you, Kev.
Man, I got to be honest. When it comes, I heard a little bit about this story earlier in the day. It just reminded me a lot of Kobe Bryant.
Yep.
And I think it's quite suspicious, especially with everything that's going on in that region right now. And Iran basically being almost directly funding Hamas in a lot of this. I really don't. I got to be honest. I don't know my main take on this. Besides, I'm not a supporter of Iran. I think that. So.
You're a normal American.
I guess good riddance is what I would really have to say. Good riddance. I just worry if that's the only thing I would say is that's the devil we knew, right?
Yep.
This opens the door for a devil we don't know.
Fabian, I want your take on this real quickly. So they're saying some of the conspiracy theorists on social media is that foul play is involved, even though it took 12 hours to find a helicopter because the region itself is very mountainous, very typical, very similar to what happened with Kobe Bryant's helicopter in terms of the conditions. Very foggy, but not just foggy for a hazy morning in LA. This mountainous region, first of all, being very, very high peak itself, but was under enormous amount of climate issues, whatever it is. But they're saying foul play is involved. They're blaming Americans because of sanctions that, and they weren't able to fix the helicopter because of the sanctions. Your thoughts of everything and what I just said?
Yeah, you know, there's always gonna be finger pointing. I think the biggest thing that they don't want people to see is that they can't even fly their president around in a helicopter because this happened. Like that looks so bad on Iran, especially right now where they're trying to look as tough as humanly possible. Now, it is worthy to note that the president doesn't run things in Iran. It's actually a theocratic republic, a theocracy, where the supreme leader holds the power, and that is the Ayatollah Khomeini. So the president, while influential, he actually oversees the executive branch and manages the economy. But the death of the president, it can lead to a lot of destabilizing things, because one of the things that I've been hearing people talk about is the fact that it's going to be the son of, I believe the Ayatollah might become president. And at that point, that's a kingdom. There's no reason. If you vote, it doesn't matter because they're going to put in place who they want to. So you have a population that is already very, very, very discontented with the government. They've been protesting like crazy. People have been dying over and over and over again, and they just crush the rebellion. So if they have a destabilized country, they can't get the president in order. The president is installed by the supreme leader, which means that people really have no power because he's been installed. I can see a situation where protests start up again, and because there's no president, there's a lot of destabilization, and this could be an opening for Western intelligence to get in there and say, hey, let's try to prop someone up, or let's cause more destabilization, or let's try a coup, or let's do this or that. So all bets are off right now. The last thing that they have said is that if they, like you said, if they find out that Israel is had a part in this, that they're going to unleash their fury, or whatever.
Do you think that even Israel could be used as a scapegoat in this, and that this could,
of course,
that they could all of a sudden some intelligence was found that, oh my gosh, maybe there just so happens to be a smoking gun that is like making the noise of Israel somehow. It happens to be a Jewish gun, and they're just like, well, now we can just go October 7th times 10 because they apparently killed the president.
Well, Kev, it's funny that you point that out, because there were rumors circulating around on Twitter that Israel was somehow involved in this. And we actually digged it up, and we did find resources that provided us that essentially Israel was involved in this. So if we can maybe cue this up, as you can find right there, I heard that a Mossad Israeli agent was the pilot, and his name was Eli Kopter, which was amazing, right? So that's a little funny twist on it and everything. But fellas, listen, we also have exclusive footage, if we can actually cue it up, of Eli Kopter training for this incredible mission. Again, his name is Eli Kopter, and this is him right here. So this is some exclusive footage that we were able to find on Twitter.
Helicopter!
David's got jokes today, everyone.
You like Kopter, right? But the joke doesn't end here, fellas. It'd be hilarious if it ended here, but I just want to take you on a even funnier ride, because this was, again, circulating all over Twitter. Again, pretty funny, right? But it was actually a lot of groups on Telegram, Palestinian groups, found this to be authentic information that, yes, Israeli Mossad agent was involved in this. His name was Eli Kopter. And it was so viral all across these Telegram channel groups that, if we can also cue up this next video, that a French TV, something related to something as similar to CNN, actually went with the story. So if we can play this in, and if we can also, I'll just read the titles if I have to, but yeah, let's play this.
Le télégramme affirme que le pilote de l'hélicoptère serait un agent du Mossad. Il donne même son nom, Helicopter. Est-ce que c'est vrai ou pas, bien entendu, comme cela fait partie de ces rumeurs qui circulent. Ce qui semble être sous-confirmé, c'est que du côté des autorités, même pour il s'exprime sur le télégramme, affirme que le pilote de l'hélicoptère serait un agent du Mossad. Il donne même
Oh my God.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Dude, this is just, oh my God.
You know, this tells you how easy it is to dupe mainstream media and mainstream legacy media to say the most random stuff, because people are going to trust this now.
Yeah.
And I mean, if it was this easy to fake them out on essentially what is a meme, then I mean, think about everything else that they're getting wrong, and that they're not telling you about.
Along with that, think about how many hands that had to go through before that man said it.
Yep.
Like, think about how many hands, how many people had to seriously say to themselves, and obviously in whatever French or whatever stupid language they were speaking, they had to say, "Oh my gosh, there is evidence that a man named Eli Kopter
Wow.
was involved in this," and that I actually see this as a real rumor. Like, they actually had to read that. So multiple people had to read that and think that. Like, there's a lot of dumb people. Just because they have high-paying jobs, just because they work for the media, does not mean they're smart.
No.
And I would say it also shows you the modern standard for journalists, right? The stories that they would have to put out, right? Because again, this is equivalent to the same thing that's like CNN, right? And you know, CNN and its hundreds of viewers, right? I don't want to dog on them too hard.
Well, you know, this whole crash happened again, very similar to the situation Kobe Bryant was in. Very hazy, very limited visibility, a lot of fog. And when you're in a helicopter, right, you have hills, you're flying low, you're not an airplane, you're not above the cloud line. So the story goes that Kobe, the reason why you know, this potentially happened is that he would fire his helicopter pilots all the time. I heard something like 6 in a year. So he was basically forcing these men to fly in unsafe conditions. Who knows if this is something that was happening in a similar situation with the president of Iran, because there was also, I believe, the foreign minister was involved. There was several people on the helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they were, and I know that they were coming back from a meeting in I forget which country, but maybe they were trying to Azerbaijan, correct. So this could be almost the exact same situation where you just have men who think they're so important they can't wait a little longer, put safety on the line, and then things like this happen.
You're absolutely right. Kev, last thoughts before we go into a quick little break.
Man, like I said, good riddance to Iranian's president, but make sure that we're all, and I think that last clip that we showed of the Eli Kopter thing, it just is a good reminder. It's a funny reminder, but it's a good reminder to think about what your media is putting out there. Because if they're putting that out there, and then next they come out and say, Israel is to blame and Hamas and terrorists are going to go after them, think about, is it a rumor? Is it something that got spread through a Telegram chat and then now they're taking it as objective fact? Or is it actually true? And I don't know one way or the other, but my point is just think about what they're telling you. Don't take it as fact.
And think about the fact that Breakaway USA is laughing at the French version of CNN. We got it right. They didn't. We're making fun of them. Who do you trust with your news?
That is Breakaway USA.